Welcome to the annual CUNY Black Male Initiative Conference, being hosted virtually this year here at Queens College. I want to say welcome in a manner that is more substantive than a college president is expected to. The reason is I know how important it is for students who may be the first in their extended family to attend college, acutely aware of the burden imposed by others impossibly of representing a race, facing the challenge of material needs for oneself and those who are depending on you as well. However confident, subject to the doubts of deniers. In an era such as our own, with everything happening around us, it is especially difficult, yet necessary, to maintain the hope that is vital for progress, for individuals no less than for society as a whole. I was attracted to Queens College because of our diversity, yet within diversity is further diversity. I love learning, which requires I be aware of what I do not know. I also love sharing, which likely explains why I became a teacher among our students, as well as faculty and staff, and I'm learning so much about them, are the descendants by now, great-great-grandchildren of the Great Migration. A century ago, so many African Americans departed the Jim Crow racial segregation of the South, imposed by law until the Supreme Court decided Brown versus Board of Education in 1954, for the freedom and opportunity in relative terms offered in the North, represented most of all by New York City. Thus, the Harlem Renaissance with a flourishing of poetry and music, novels and painting. Jacob Lawrence, for example, with his series of works over a course of a lifetime that extended to 20 years ago, depicting on canvas the epic movement of a population joined together in a fight for equality. We also have so much of the African diaspora, Nigerians and Ethiopians, including those more recently arrived. There are Haitians who were refugees in the 1980s and their descendants, Jamaicans and Antiguans and others from the islands of the sea, as W.E.B. Du Bois called it. Afro-Latinos and Afro-Asians are more than a few within these numbers. All that is to say, the range of people, bar none, belong on our campus. It must be said explicitly, not unsaid on the assumption it will be communicated implicitly. It must be expressed because there are those demagogues who would divide us, insisting otherwise, appealing to our worst halves to shut out anyone unlike us or not as well off. Beyond that, empathy must be felt and that feeling must be transmitted. The support for our students must be genuine and material, which a slogan that is abstract and universal cannot offer. The challenge for me, for all of us who would lead, and not for us alone, but alongside those with every role, is to win over the public once again the ideal of a common good. What made Queens College great, and CUNY as a system great, was a defining faith in our democracy and its civic culture. As soon as our experiment in self-governance was established on these shores, elders sought to ensure education for their young. They understood that the project depended on training the next generation of citizens to be engaged, even if it meant as the loyal opposition, dissenting. Over time, who was allowed, even invited to participate, was expanded. People of color, immigrants, women, religious minorities, returning veterans, and those without backgrounds of privilege. For us to continue, however, in this work, we must ensure our neighbors and co-workers, those elected as representatives, realize it is in their self-interest too, to ensure access to higher education, because it is not self-interest that is promoted by higher education. It is instead the proverbial American dream. The investment in higher education pays off for all of us. The graduate from Queens College or any institution in CUNY may well start a business and hire others around them, generating revenue, paying taxes, continuing a virtuous cycle. Our most significant donor has always been and always will be the public itself. As important as private philanthropy has become to our success, the state and the city provide for us what is required. They provide everything from the teaching and the scholarship to the athletics and the cultural enrichment. To the students attending this program, I encourage you to use everything that we make available. Take advantage of it. From time to time, students dedicated to racial justice ask me for advice about how their careers could advance their cause. I am humbled to offer a suggestion. become an accountant, or pursue another profession. Accounting needs activists, and the civil rights movement needs accountants. The point is, our aspirations for ourselves, which we all have, and our aspirations for our community are compatible, bound together. Your skills will serve more than yourself. They enable you, if you wish, to put principles into action. I hope you do so. Again, welcome.